Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to do a quick update video on a few cases. Okay, the first one we have is Jameson Nance. Okay, I'm going to read the article to you. It says, prosecutors seek death penalty for Florida mom and lover accused of heinous abuse of a 3-year-old boy for weeks before his death. Prosecutors intend to seek the death penalty against the Florida mother and her boyfriend, who allegedly abused and murdered the woman's young son. As Crime and Lain reported previously, a grand jury last month indicted 27-year-old Erica Dotson and 25-year-old Joshua Mans on charges of first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter, and child abuse in connection with the death of a 3-year-old Jameson Nance. Investigators allege that the pair abused the toddler, sought to conceal the abuse, and neglected treatment for his multiple injuries, which a medical examiner determined occurred over the course of months. The child died on June 11th under the care of Mans while Dotson was at work. Mans allegedly beat Nance and then called Dotson, claiming the boy had drowned. Dotson later told police that she discovered her son in the bathtub, but investigators found no evidence of a drowning, and there was no water in his lungs. Instead, an autopsy revealed that Nance had battered child syndrome, including weeks-old injuries such as brain swelling, stab wounds, broken legs, and fractured ribs, according to the news station. Tragically, the boy reportedly told adults at school that he was being abused, specifically that Mans would burn him and beat him if he woke up his mother or her boyfriend. State child welfare authorities were also aware of suspicious injuries on the boy, who had prior contact with the family, but it is not clear what, if anything, was being done, according to Florida Today. Authorities allege Dotson, the boy's mother, was aware of the abuse and did not stop it. The state attorney's office filed a motion on August 19th, notifying the court that it intends to seek the death penalty. The office has described the murder as especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel. Police believe the couple abused the boy at their apartment in West Melbourne, which is about 90 miles south of Daytona Beach along the Atlantic coast. A hearing in the case is scheduled for Wednesday. Alright guys, y'all remember this case? This is the case that it was so bad. The guy supposedly called the girlfriend and said that he had had a seizure, and when he came to, the little boy was dead in the bathtub, and then he ran. And she came home, this is the story anyway, she came home and found him and called 911 and all that kind of stuff. And at first we got the runaround. They acted like the guy just lived in the apartment building but wasn't actually tied to her. He was just a babysitter, but they were together. He was living with her. But the actual daycare that he went to, I guess before this guy completely started watching him, had CPS come look at him, and they didn't do anything, guys. They didn't do anything. He had burns. Do you know how hard it is to break a 3-year-old's leg? Like, kids at that age, they don't break bones. They're still so rubbery. Like, this is a nightmare. I hope that they seriously do an investigation for the child welfare. I mean, this is ridiculous, guys. This is ridiculous. But I can talk about how ridiculous it is. If you haven't heard the story, I've got another video back in June when it happened, going over it. I don't even know. But at least Florida is going to seek the death penalty for both of them. And how sad is that? You know, not that I feel badly for the parents, but if CPS had stepped in months ago, these people wouldn't be charged for murder. This little boy could still be alive. Just let that sink in for a minute. There's a whole lot of people that would still be alive after all this if the people who are supposed to be taking reports and making sure the kids are safe in this country are severely dropping the ball this year. Very, very badly. Next up, we have little 11-month-old Mercedes Lain. So this article says, who killed Mercedes Lain? 11-month-old's death ruled a homicide. Authorities in Indiana say an 11-month-old baby found dead last week after being reported missing, died of blunt force trauma to the head, and the cause of death was homicide. That should say the manner, but okay. As Crime Online previously reported, Mercedes Lain was reported missing on August 16th, when she was believed to be in the company of 37-year-old Justin Lee Miller, who was described as a family relative in court documents obtained by the Daily Beast. Miller had reportedly been babysitting Mercedes to give her parents a break. Police found Miller on August 17th, but the baby wasn't with him. It remains unclear where Mercedes was in her final days or exactly when she died. Marshall County Prosecutor Nelson Chipman confirmed the cause of death to WKVI, adding that multiple anatomic findings were reported in the preliminary autopsy. He did not elaborate on those findings. Miller and Mercedes' parents, Kenneth Lain and Tiffany Coburn, were all arrested last week and charged with neglect of a dependent. After the baby's body was found, Miller was additionally charged with the neglect of a dependent resulting in death. It is not yet known if any of the defendants are expected to face more charges or if the police are looking for additional suspects. So, yeah, we went over this case last week when it all kind of kicked off. So, he has, the Miller, the babysitter guy, has also been charged with tampering with a human body. The long press conference, if you guys missed it, is in the video that I did on her last week. You can watch, it's like 25-30 minutes long. Somebody asked about drug problems, were there going to be drug charges, and the sheriff said drug charges will be the least of their worries. So I fully expect some more charges to be piled on top of this, because this is crazy. With what the parents are charged with right now, the most they can get, I think, was 3 years for the neglect of a child. So we're going to have to keep our eyes out on that. The last case that I'm going to update you guys on today is going to be James Hutchinson. I spoke with his family this week, but basically James's mother, Brittany Gosney, and her boyfriend, James Hamilton, have both pleaded. I swear that word sounds terrible. It should be pled. But they have both pleaded guilty, and now they are waiting sentencing. She goes back to court September 20th, I believe, and then he goes back in, I think it's all the way in October. I think it's October 4th. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys the news articles, and then I'm going to talk about it.
A Middletown mother pleads guilty in the murder of her 6-year-old son. Brittany Gosney was in court this morning, and our Local 12's David Winter is now live just outside that courthouse. David, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Liz. Brittany Gosney pleaded guilty this morning to 1 count of murder, 2 counts of child endangering. She had been charged with 16 very serious counts, including murder, involuntary manslaughter, kidnapping, abduction, gross abuse of a corpse, child endangering, and tampering with evidence. She was arrested in March for murdering her 6-year-old son, James Hutchinson. Police say the 29-year-old tried to abandon her 3 children in Rush Run Park in Preble County. As Gosney tried to drive away from her children, police say that James tried to get back into the car and was then run over and killed. After today's hearing, I asked the prosecutor about the fact that he is not referring to the defendant as James' mother.
For all of those people that wondered, could this really have happened? How could anybody really do that? Is it possible that she would actually do that to her own child? The answer is yes. And when she did that, she gave up her right with this prosecutor to be called a mom or mother.
Craig, Tanya, I sat next to James Hamilton's sister, his wife, his stepdaughter in court. They say they won't excuse what he did, but they say he's not a monster. You'll hear the prosecutor begs to differ. The next time Sarah Woods sees her stepdad, he'll be learning how long he'll be spending in prison.
As to that charge, what is your plea?
Guilty.
James Hamilton said that 4 times for 4 felonies: kidnapping, child endangerment, and gross abuse of a corpse.
Those pleas erased any question, and should erase any question in the minds of anybody in the public, of the guilt, the absolute guilt of these defendants.
I don't believe it was all in him.
Prosecutors say in February he helped his then-girlfriend Brittany Gosney get rid of her 6-year-old son's body after she hit James Hutchinson, trying to abandon him and her 2 other kids in this Preble County park. Investigators say she took the boy home and she and Hamilton kept him in the house until they drove to the Ohio River near Lawrenceburg and tossed him in a brick tied to his foot. His body's never been found.
He has told me multiple times that, he did help her do that.
Hamilton's also charged with endangerment for allegedly hog-tying Gosney's 2 other kids and stuffing cloth in their mouths. Those claims his sister Virginia Abney and wife Priscilla say they don't believe.
He's not the monster everybody's making him out to be. He's really not.
And they have expressed themselves about the monster named Hamilton, who did monstrous things to little Jimmy. And when he threw his body in the Ohio River, that is the act of a calculated monster.
Hamilton's family in tears as he walks back into jail. Now, we told you Brittany Gosney pleaded guilty last week. Hamilton now faces 15 to 19 years in prison. He'll find out just how long he'll serve when he's back here in court October 4th. We'll be here too.
So like I was saying earlier, I talked to somebody from James's family, and I kind of told them about Midwest EquiSearch. They'd never heard of them. And so I reached out to them through Facebook and got a message back that they were aware of the case along with Nyla Lattimore's case, because they are both allegedly in the Ohio River and neither one of them has been found. So they kind of told me what to do, and I passed that along to the family and really encouraged them to reach out to, law enforcement and to EquiSearch to get them together, because, man alive, it would be nice to find both of those little boys, So some other things are kicking off there too. Earlier you heard in the news article that James had 2 older siblings, a boy and a girl. Their biological fathers are not in their lives. They have been in the custody of Brittany's sister through all of this. And when I spoke with James's aunt, she is James's dad's sister, and James is an only child on his dad's side. And they are offering him to adopt the kids. And from what she said, he's decided to do so. So I think that's amazing. But, keep them in your prayers. This is not going to be an easy transition. Since February, they've lost their brother. Their mom went to jail. Then, they haven't had contact with him this whole time. They've been at an aunt's house, and now they're going to go back. He's been in their life since, before James was born, and he's, according to her, the only real dad that they've ever known. So that's really good news. But keep them in your prayers. I know this is going to be hard on James's dad. To have the 2 other kids is going to be a blessing, but it's going to be really sad to see them without James, So I've talked to them about a GoFundMe and that kind of thing. So if that pops up and I hear back from them, I will let you guys know about that, because I know a lot of you guys really care about James Hutchinson, and his case has been a big deal. It was one of the very first cases I ever covered on this channel. So anyway, tomorrow is Hearsay Live again. I know I missed a live Wednesday because I'm terrible. I was not doing good. I was super sick, guys. I got up Wednesday and I worked. Everything was normal. I was up, I was working, I was talking to people, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go get ready for my live, and got off voice chat, got my makeup put on, got up, stood up to go do my hair before my husband locked me out of the bathroom, and immediately it just hit me like a truck, and I was sick for 2 days. Could not even sit up. So riddle me that, Batman. Nobody else in the house was sick. Nobody else got sick after that. It just went away. I have no clue what it was. I'm just lucky like that. I know y'all are jealous of my GI system. It's a ton of fun. That and the migraines were a good combination. So anyway, tomorrow is going to be Hearsay Live. I might have some people come on to talk about a few of these cases. Also, we got the Daybell hearings Monday. From what I can tell, both of those are going to be sealed. Can't imagine why. Some people might be coming on to talk about that, and the Barry Morphew prelim, and some other things that are kicking off. Maybe some Summer Wells, who knows. But the other announcement I was going to make is Wednesday nights are going to start being a thing. I titled the show Nothing But the Truth. So we'll do hearsay on Sunday and Nothing But the Truth on Wednesday. And Wednesdays will be more, we're going to talk about news articles and fact-based stuff and this, that, and the other, breaking stuff down. And Sundays will be also fact-based, but we'll speculate, theorize about stuff, end up talking about makeup and dogs and food and who even knows what else. So that is all I've got. I might have an announcement tomorrow. I'm not sure. It depends on if I can get it all together tonight. But until next time, guys, bye.